Now, we got Mr. I spent my time outside. We had a big rainstorm, big windstorm, and it blew branches off the tree. And then I saw this white vehicle in the road, and it had big trees in the road and branches all over the road. And I went out there and I got drenched, and these cars were waiting. This woman said, "You better get yourself back in the house." I'm sitting there thinking, I just moved all those branches out of the road so you can get down the road. I did, because you're going to run over those branches. It's going to go up inside your engine, or it's going to get stuck and you're going to have a big hole in something. I think I'm on here, you all. So he was authorized to do everything that he did. That's what he said. I hope you all can hear me, because I have no idea. My phone got soaking wet. I had to take it out of its case. It's a pink phone. I've got a. I feel really cool now. I took a bath in the rain, a shower in the rain. It was nice. I'm really trying to get over here because this is really a good one. Mr. Oliver North and the Iran-Contra thing that happened. Gina, honey, that is not permitted to talk about. Why not? Because it was a big scandal. There was like underground UFO bases and things like that going on. There really were. I don't even know if I'm on here. Oh, I'm on here, but I only got 13 people watching, and there's a reason for it. It's because of the subject matter of what it's on here for. Hello, Applebrooks, honey. So I'm going to stick you right there. Yeah, is it a little bit too loud? Because I can fix it to where it won't be a little too loud. Yeah. I'm going to turn this light on, is what I'm going to do. See, the rain stopped now. Yeah. You remember how this was, it was all over the place. Oh, hello there. Justice. So let's come over here and look at some of these pictures of Mr. Oliver North. The Iran-Contra scandal. NSC intelligent document. He was all in the news. It was really wild. Disgraced figure. Yeah. Yeah, he was good. But then, you see what he said? I was authorized to do everything that I did. Oh man, I got my book wet. You got to have a scapegoat. He got to be a scapegoat. Let me do this. Okay, I've got this, and I've got this. This is underground UFOs is what it is. It's from this book, and what he had to say. I got to get this stuff out of the way. You already got my book kind of wet, but I want to have him up here. They were talking about underground UFOs underground in this Alien Agenda book. This person named Sauter, Richard Sauter, PhD, a financial and military researcher in the Southwest, conducted an in-depth study on the issue of underground bases. Concluded, I consider it an absolute certainty that the military has constructed secret underground facilities in the United States above and beyond approximately 12 known underground facilities. Sauter reported such sites as Fort Belvoir, Virginia, West Point, New York, 29 Palms Marine Corps Base in California, Groom Lake near Nellis Air Force Base, White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico, Table Mountain near Boulder, Colorado, Mount Blackmore, and Pipestone Pass, Montana. Hello. While the existence, we're going to get to Oliver North. While the existence of many other giant underground bases have not been confirmed, there is absolutely no question that both the U.S. government and private companies have long maintained active plans for their construction. Sauder presented numerous papers, patents, plans, and government contracts to prove not only the interest but also the digging technology to accomplish such an endeavor. This technology ranges from conventional drilling and boring machines to exotic ground disintegration devices using microwave, plasma, ultrasonic electron beam, and laser technology. In 1986, the Los Alamos Laboratory Report and two 1988 reports from NASA researchers at Texas A&M University even detail plans for a lunar tunneler designed to excavate space for a working colony under the surface of the moon. Hello. If you caught that, I don't even know if that, do you think that last video ended you all where I was outside and it was pouring down rain and the branches were on the ground, and then I went to the road and there was the tree on the road and there was cars backed up and it was pouring down rain? Did that video end, or was it still stuck in a loop? Because I was out there, I just like jumped back on here after I dried off with my wet clothes still on. Sauder noted the first thing to understand is that there are actual tunneling machines that crawl through the ground like giant mechanical earthworms with huge appetites. These tunneling machines are used on construction projects all over the world to build perfectly ordinary sewers, subways, utility lines, highways, railroads, aqueducts, hydroelectric projects, as well as jazzy, high-profile projects like Channel. What's Channel? It's the tunnel underneath the English Channel that now makes it possible to travel on dry ground between England and France. We're going to get to what was happening back then. Some of these underground facilities are not military at all, yet they are still very secret. In addition to a large Federal Reserve facility within Mount Pony near Culpeper, Virginia, there is Mount Weather near Bluemont, Virginia, which was built in the 50s as a giant government bomb shelter. Today, it is under the control of the massive Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, which under a variety of executive orders can assume control of the nation in the event of an emergency. Although it is the headquarters for FEMA far-flung underground empire, it does not even appear in the agency's published budget. Hello. You didn't catch what part? Okay, it ended. Oh, you watching Miss Gina on the TV? Marcy with the E. Yeah. So, just think FEMA will take over the whole entire United States. They have the power to do it. This is where it gets, I didn't know this, during the Iran-Contra scandal in 1987, it was revealed that certain Reagan administration officials, including the Marine Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, drafted a plan to suspend the Constitution and turn over the national control to FEMA during an emergency. Such an emergency was defined as nuclear war, violent and widespread internal dissent, or national opposition to a U.S. military invasion abroad. These revelations drew a letter of protest from the Attorney General, William French Smith, and prompted Arthur Lyman, the chief counsel of the Senate Iran-Contra Committee, to declare that such plans grew from a secret government within a government. Such plans are still abiding in locked government files, so they can do it. It's locked in government files. Hello. According to Sauter, the FEMA Mount Weather Facility is the hub of 96 such installations collectively known as the Federal Relocation Centers. Yes, the FEMA centers. Just how many of these secret centers were newly constructed during the 1980s and how many are older facilities that the Reagan administration merely converted to its purposes, expanded, remodeled, and modernized is not known. Even the non-government organizations have underground facilities. At least one oil giant, Standard Oil Company of New Jersey, maintains an underground center near Hudson, New York. Northrop has a similar facility near the Tehachapi Mountains to the northwest of Lancaster, California, while Lockheed and McDonnell Douglas each operate the California facilities near Helendale and Elano, respectively. So we're talking about these underground facilities, and sounds like the FEMA relocation places, they're talking about those too, but they call them the Federal Relocation Centers. And they don't know how many of these secret centers were newly constructed. This in the 1980s. I got to get a drink of water. It tastes nice and cold. It really feels nice. All right. Tonight, government, aka organization. The initial purpose of these facilities apparently was to ensure the leaders of industry and finance could survive a nuclear war. Some researchers believe this purpose may have been modified in the recent years. I think this book was written in the 2020. As communism collapsed in Russia and Eastern Europe, so did the Cold War. While the threat of mass nuclear destruction appeared over, though not the threat of localized nuclear terrorism, new worries arose. Through their ownership and control over both scientific and social foundations, as well as think tanks, it became very clear to many that the ruling elite that an underground bunker may not be adequate protection from widespread natural environmental disasters. A haven hundreds of feet underground will not help in the event of massive earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, and there is no purpose in surviving if one must exist in an underground shelter to find Earth lifeless or radioactive. The certain knowledge of the existence of non-governmental ruling elite, coupled with their known resources and their instinct to survive, has led researchers to a chilling conclusion, one that may be the sum total of all the most paranoid suspicions, the ultimate conspiracy, you all. This is going to get the alternate, the conspiracy. I can turn this off of me while I drink my drink really fast. I need a really good drink of this water. I could drink it all. I really could drink it all, but I didn't. It's called The Third Alternative. If you're just tuning in, we're reading about the third alternative. The premise of Alternative 3. I think we touched on this one time during one of these alien readings. Hello, King Charles. The Earth's the Earth's real rulers in terms of wealth and power have long realized that overpopulation and environmental degradation will soon make the planet unable to support human society as we know it. Therefore, a secret plan has been adopted using unpublicized space technology to relocate selected people to colonies on Mars via clandestine bases on the moon. This conspiracy involves cooperation between persons in both the United States and the former Soviet Union and has been in place for many years. Such a plan is apparently only the latest in the survival schemes for the ruling elite, who for some time have realized that mankind's excesses on this planet have passed beyond the point of redemption. According to Jim Keefe, a prolific author and researchers into such matters, the alternative one consisted, this is how to get rid of the people, I guess. It consisted of detonating nuclear bombs in the atmosphere to allow the pollution and the heat to dissipate into space, whereas alternative 2 was a plan to construct vast subterranean habitats for the elite to escape into when the going gets tough. That's alternative 2. It's obviously why alternative 1 was discarded. An atmosphere of radiation. Is that what we got right now? An atmosphere of radiation is hardly an improvement over pollution. Is that what we got? What if they're doing alternative 1, alternative 2, and alternative 3? They could be one right after the other. This is alternative 2 was considered viable for a longer time, considering the massive underground construction that took place during the 1950s and 60s. But today, knowledgeable eyes look beyond the Earth. Only recently have details been made public of the technology required to support a large-scale evacuation of the planet. In 1966, let me show you something. Let me do this for a minute. Gina, what are you going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Want to see the big dip? 122, they dropping it down to 88. They're cutting the live chat. They drop it, is what they're doing. So you can see. They don't want it to get very high. Okay, see, they brought it back up. They're going to do another dip. Watch it. We're going to look at this on the screen for a second. I'm going to get a drink of my water. Hello. If you're all just tuning in, they're going to do another dip. They might wait 30 seconds. They might wait a minute if you're just tuning in. I just want to see them do that dip. Is what I'd like to see. There it is. You missed it. So we went for 125 down to 93. To 114. See, that's what they're doing. They don't want the chat rate high, as you can see. Yeah. So we'll go back to this. Okay, I'll come back to me. I'll continue to read. Yeah. I gotta continue to read this. We're talking about the third alternative when you won't have a place to, like, stay on the Earth. All right. Okay, here we are. And today, the knowledgeable eyes look beyond Earth. Only recently have details been made public of the technology required to support a large-scale evacuation of our planet. NASA selected Lockheed Martin to design and build a $941 million X-33 prototype space shuttle scheduled to fly by 1999. Did they do it? X-33 space shuttle. We can look and see if they built one. Let's see if we did. X-33 space shuttle. X-33, 33 is master number. Space shuttle. We're way past that year. Let's turn it to this. Ah, we got it. There it is. Lockheed Martin, February 2016. X-33. Have you seen it? Because I haven't seen it. They were to design and build the X-33 Advanced Technology Demonstrator Test Vehicle between March and December of 1999. It was half-scale project. It was expected to feature, it was an unpiloted vehicle launched vertically like a rocket. Lower the cost of putting a pound of payload into space from the current $10,000 to $1,000. And NASA ceased the funding program. You all do not believe that. You know they did not throw so much money in there only to cease it. There's no telling how many of these that we see that are flying around in the sky look like a UFO 6th-generation fighter. Okay, let's look at these really fast. Look at NASA's. That looks black. It's the X-43A HyperX. You ever see that on the news? It can fly at Mach 9.6 to 6,800 miles per hour. That looks like a UFO. It kind of sort of does. This is the Boeing X-40. Looks like it's got a big needle thing on it. Looks like it's half in its shape. How fast can that travel? It can go to 15,000 feet. Holloman Air Force Base. This is a shuttle. You all, this is futuristic. Yeah, manufactured. 2 of them were manufactured in 97 and 2001. They got a B-52 mothership on September the 13th. So they got successful flights. We've got that one. What are we at? The something. Did I do the Boeing? Is this the Boeing 37? The X-38 crew. Let's see the Boeing 37. That looks like a space shuttle. The Boeing 36 looks like that. The orbitable thing looks like a big drone. A drone. Okay, that's what it is, you out there. So they got it going on. They really do. They've got these. There's no telling how many things of these they have made. And they probably already got the people living on the moon, and we just don't know it. You don't know it. Most leading scientists do not dispute the idea that the Earth is environmentally in trouble. The arguments are simply to what degree. Let me get this. I can't see what I'm doing. Simply to what degree. Warnings about the result of overpopulation have been widely disseminated since the 1960s. The Stanford University professor of population studies warned of the consequences of overpopulation in 1968. The population bomb. Well, now we got the climate bomb. It's sobering to know that when Ehrlich was born in the 30s, the world's population was just 2 billion. Today, it has almost reached 6 billion. The explosion of humanity has already begun to strain our social and governmental systems. We got gridlock. They want a new society, an interplanetary escape plan. This is what they wanted. Here's their thing. They want to. It's inconceivable that people with wealth, power, and authority are as oblivious to the situation as the average citizen. Their positions were not gained through blindness and unconcern. It's reasonable to conclude that the discussions of alternatives to overpopulated, dying Earth surely have been conducted at the highest levels of authority. The first public presentation of Interplanetary Escape Plan came in June of 1977. When broadcast in England of a docudrama entitled The Alternative 3. It was produced by Anglia TV and written by David Ambrose and Christopher Miles. The show was a compilation of interviews and news footage depicting the worsening conditions of Earth. It outlined the plan to evacuate a number of humans selected for their potential to contribute to a new society. along with a number of brainwashed worker drones described as simply batch consignments to domed bases on the moon and Mars. The program prompted much outrage in Britain, where it was quickly depicted as mere fiction presented as a documentary. And there were certainly many reasons not to take the program seriously. A former astronaut was not a real person, nor was he an American. So the alternative 3, we did something on this. The first templates. The first templates of alternative 3 becomes visible. Keefe added that for alternative 3 to be a viable plan for the survival, there must be a number of controls that are set into place. These include there must be a mastery of mass populations through a controlled media. Television, drugs, religion, or mind control techniques, control of the military of the major nations, possibly through the United Nations, and contingency plans in the event of war, social upheaval, or the sudden recognition of such control by the masses, or natural catastrophes. This broad outline of control is a repetition in almost all specifics of the details of Alternative 3. If there is any truth to Alternative 3, it might answer many questions raised over the years by various researchers. Why would top leaders in business and banking meet secretly over the years, and why would they deal with the Nazis? Why has advanced energy and engine technology been repeatedly suppressed over the years? Were the Nazis designed flying saucers actually built, or where on earth have they been used? Could such saucers represent a covert space technology that might account for the dismissive attitude toward the UFOs by the government and the military? Could the bases on the moon and Mars account for the sightings of the numerous anomalous structures on both? The Alternative 3 concept is intriguing, but hard evidence is difficult to obtain, and the sheer audacity and magnitude of the conspiracy argues against it. But there have been cracks in the protective wall of security thrown around such matters that added support for such speculation. Recent rumors and several articles, mostly outside the mainstream media, have speculated that perhaps the United States is indeed experimenting with clandestine space technology at a top secret base in Nevada, which is Area 51, and Groom Lake, Nevada is, they got strange circular silent flying craft sighted over the facility there, you all. We got the Bureau of Land Management. Groom Lake has been where our government has came when it wants to be alone. It's a terrestrial black hole into which it is estimated millions of tax dollars have disappeared each day, while hardly a word of exclamation escapes. Let's pull up Groom Lake on here. I'm going to pull up Groom Lake so we can see where it's located in Nevada on the Google Earth. Can I pull it up, Gina? Boom. We're going to have Groom Lake. Stop it right there. Let's do it. Groom. Let me do it right here. Oh, Groom Lake, Nevada. Let's go zooming in on it, you all. We want to see what's happening in Groom Lake, Nevada. There it located right there. It looks kind of white. There's nothing there. Looks kind of rather blah. What's that, Groom Lake? Is it a lake? It's like a hole in the ground. What is that? Oh, it's just a black spot. Excuse me. Look like something's over there. Let's see what's over there, you all. Trying to get over there to the other side of the lake. We got to go swimming to go over there. Because I don't know what's there. Looks like something's there. Of course, they're not going to have... This is all CGI. Is what it is. I want to exit the ground level. Completely. Groom Lake, Nevada. Got some mountains. Some roads. It's kind of blah. They want it to be blah, is what they want. Totally blah. Looks like something right here. Maybe runway. It's a valley. Immigrant Valley. So we've got Groom Lake. We got underground bases. Why did he want to suspend the Constitution? And really, let's think about this. If they wanted Alternative 3 to work, what did they say they had to do? Well, they would, let me read what they would have to do. The elite, let's see. Keith wrote, "It is this environment of extensive collaboration and infiltration by the Nazis and the fascists, a collaboration that involves a long-term continuance of Nazi goals separated from earlier German territorial goals, and an overall shepherding and betrayal of the international moneyed interests, government intelligence agencies, that America's descent into totalitarianism." Let me see, we got to get back over here, you all. America's going to go back into totalitarianism. Did you see that? Did you see that orb fly by? Let me push it back here. Maybe we can see the orb fly by again. Let's see if I can do it. If I push it back here, I want to see if the orb will fly by again. No, it didn't. I thought I'd seen an orb fly by. It's pretty. The Alternative 3, it's the betrayal of international moneyed interests, government and intelligence agency, that America's descent, where are we at? Into totalitarianism, genocide, and mind control becomes understandable, and the Alternative 3 template first becomes visible. So we got to get that first. We got to get America's descent into totalitarianism. We got to get some genocide going on, and we got to get some mind control going on. And then the Alternative 3 template will first become visible. To be a viable plan for survival, there must be a number of controls set in place. These include, they got to have mastery of the mass populations through a controlled media. It is controlled. Television, drugs, religion, mind control techniques, control of the military of the major nations, possibly through the United Nations, and contingency plans in the event of a war, in the event of social upheaval, and or in the event of a sudden recognition of the such control. They got to have a contingency plan if the people have a sudden recognition that this Alternative 3 could be coming into play by the masses. and or a natural catastrophe. This broad outline of control is a repetition in almost all the Pacifics. It keeps going, it keeps repeating, of the details of the alternative 3. So they did it. So if you see any of that stuff going on, if you do, I'm not saying that you will, but you could possibly be seeing that happening. Well, the Pentagon press briefings don't look real. They don't. They look like they're AGI. And as far as we know, any type of news that's on the computer or the TV, that could very well be ran by AI too. It could be. AI could be running the show, and these people could be already over there on Mars or in the moon. They could be on their Mars colony, and Mr. Musk wants to go to Mars. He does. So do we got bases on Mars? The elite and Mars colonies. The whistleblower said he served 17 years at a secret Mars military base, Earth Defense Force. What if he did? A whistleblower, 17 years. Mars is called Ares Prime. It's located inside of a crater. See, we don't know what goes on everywhere. We do not know. He was recruited for a 20-year tour of duty that involved covert operations on Mars. Also, Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of Eisenhower, claims that the covert efforts were made to recruit her to join the colony on Mars, and it was headed by the famed physicist Puthoff. They claim that Mars has a breathable atmosphere and is supported by a number of NASA images revealing small animals on the surface. So we got the colony on Mars right there. That's what it's supposed to look like, and you're on Earth. Remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Get Your A to Mars? That they were saying. Yeah. Oh, Steve Honey, Gina Honey made it. I was totally drenched in water, rainwater, and it was fun getting all the branches out of the road. There's still a big tree that's in partial in the lane that's going westbound, but I couldn't move it because it was still attached to the stump. The mats in our outer space look like you think. Oh, Mars. Okay, it's not in our outer space. Locked in a crater. Anybody else picked up that? What? Is that what it was? Somewhere in time? Was that on here? Locked in a crater? Let's see. He served... Did you see that on here? Locked in time? Locked in... somewhere in time. Yeah, there he was right there. Captain K's testimony revealed that the main human colony on Mars is called Ares Prime, which is located inside a crater. It's the headquarters for the Mars Colony Corporation. Okay. The air is breathable, so they're inside a crater on Mars. He claims there's 2 indigenous species on Mars, both are which highly intelligent. One of these are the reptilian species that were very aggressive in defending its territory. Okay. And only maintaining it. Captain K says as long as the Mars Defense Force and Mars Colony Corporation did not encroach on the territory of the indigenous Martians, there would be stable relations. So they only talked about the... Oh, and this insectoid. The other was the insectoid species that was capable of protecting its territory. The reptilians and the insectoids. They are on Mars. Are they also on Earth? The X-Twitter logo tell you all you need to know. Roswell Swanson, honey. Thank you. Yeah, so I am going to end this. This was on the Oliver North. He wanted to suspend the Constitution, but he was authorized to do everything that he did. And from this book right here, The Alien Agenda. I found it in the flea market. I was looking for a story time book and I couldn't find any, and I walked over to a bookshelf and this was just sitting there like that right there. I still have like the receipt in it. It was brand new and nobody ever used it. They didn't. As I see, I paid the thing right there. There's some picture in there, some guy holding a fragment of a crashed UFO. And there's pictures of a big mothership in the sky on here. I don't know if you can see them. Gina, can they see them? See, it's like the big mothership right there. When you see that big space in the sky, like a big old gap, it's because there's a big mothership up there in the sky. When they say they give it a certain strange name, and you know it's not. It's something much different. And they've got some of the bell-shaped UFO in there. If you can see it. Yeah. So it's a pretty cool book, but inside this book, during that part right there, he drafted up a plan to suspend the Constitution, and they was going to hand everything over to FEMA. And FEMA, the federal something, underground, like relocation centers, is kind of what they had. Something like that. Yeah. You seen the court with Oliver North. The stargates go to Mars and the moon, Gina. They have stargates. Well, we might go in a stargate one day. We might. You never know. We just might go into one. I am going to go, you all. But that was the story time with Gina. And they got an alternative 3 that they're going to use while they exit the planet. See, there's some orbs flying across. Did you see it? It's a pretty orb. I like to get some more pretty orbs flying across, but I can't get them that way. I can get them like this. They like to be in the light. It's like be in the light, or if the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? You don't want a really dark light. I'm going to go. What logo? Holy Fire, what logo are you talking about? Is there a logo somewhere? Love you too, Brandy. Apple Brooks, honey, you gonna go night-night? It's time to go night-night. It really is time to go night-night. If you've had a long day, you might want to just go night-night and just do that. Oh, you're welcome. From the 80s somewhere in time. Yeah. Good night. Good night, everyone. I'm going to go. I don't know about a logo. I don't. But I don't know what the X-Twitter logo is for extraterrestrials. I never heard of that before. That's what it's called? The X-Twitter logo for extraterrestrials? X-Twitter logo for extraterrestrials? I never heard of it before. I'm going to see if it pulls anything up. Oh, you talking about that bird? Is that what you're talking about? This bird right here? It's a logo X? I have no idea about it. I really don't. The iconic bird with an... Where's the X at? I don't know about it. I don't know what it means. Where's the new... He changes the Musk. He's got a blue bird. His new logo, let me see. Wait, I don't know. Where's the new logo? I don't know what it is, you all. So, let me get this off of here. The new Twitter logo, Elon Musk drops the bird for black and white X. Okay, where's the black and white? Is this it right here? This is the logo, this building with an X on it. The X is to come. X-Men? Could be X-Men. Oh, it's just an X. Well, that's dark. It does sound dark. Yeah. Well, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't want to look at the X. It's the Osiris pose. Osiris is an X. Osiris is an X. Okay, I see the X across Osiris' chest. You think that's what it is? I have no idea, but I didn't know about that. This doesn't make sense to me. That's about right. It doesn't, but I am going to go. I do know that. Across the arms and the chest. Okay, so he's got an X now on it. Well, they got a laser. It's an optical illusion. Yeah, I'm going to go. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, you all, and thank you for listening. It does seem like that alternative 3, it could be in play. It really does. Controlled media and controlled military. You got the drugs, you got the religion, you got the whatever else they got. Controlling people. Yeah, good night. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you, moderators. And have a wonderful evening. And thank you for watching. Good night. Love you.